What's going on, everybody? So, I just got back from seeing Venom, The Last Dance, and or Venom 3, The Last Dance, however which way you want to call it. And it was a pretty good movie. Now, in terms of, I can tell you this right off the back, in terms of like, since there's been three movies, where did this rank? This that it ranks as it is. It's third. In my opinion, the best Venom movie was the first one. Venom: Let There Be Carnage was basically the second best, and then third best is this movie. So that's not to say that basically for me as Venom is like my I think he's like in my top fives of favorite characters. Like I like him more than I like Spider. So let's get that correct here. I do like him more than I like Spider Man, but it's not like Spider Man is not part of my top five. He just I put Venom over Spider Man, but actually I put Venom and Carnage over Spider when it comes to Spider Man characters. Anyway. But this movie takes place immediately where Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage left off, and his appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Doctor Strange and all that type of stuff. So it basically picks up right where that left off, where we he gets back to his universe, and basically that's where the events of Venom Let There Be Venom Let There Be Carnage. But that's basically where Venom The Last Dance takes place. It takes place right when he gets back to his universe. And from there we're introduced to Null. Null is in the movie and he is the main villain. But this was, as much as it was Venom's last movie, this was also a setup for Null, if you will. This is his setup too. So while this may be Tom Hardy's last go around, because he has done an interview saying that he'd be open to return to play the character, not only Eddie Brock but Venom too. But this is safe to say, especially when I get to it, you know what I mean. But basically, a little hint: they did leave themselves a way, to bring all this back together. But this movie basically is about Null, and we found out the backstory of Null and how he was defeated in a way, and how his villainy in this movie is that he wants to be set free, and there's a way to be set free, and this is what he sends his forces, as we see in the little spider like alien things. He sends them to Earth after this thing, because this thing is on Earth, or he sends them everywhere, but one of them end up being the ones to find it on Earth. And this thing is what is needed to set him free. And then on top of that, on the human side of things, Brock is a fugitive for the apparent death of the detective guy. I want to say, I forgot what his name was. Patrick Mulligan. But we both know this is not a spoiler because you see him in the trailers. We both know he's not dead. But this is the apparent. That's what, on the human side, that's what Eddie Brock is. He's like wanted for the apparent death of Detective Mulligan. So with this, Eddie and Brock's last adventure. Eddie and Venom's last adventure begins. So they had to work through this. Mrs. Chan is there for a brief part, but otherwise, this is basically a story of everything coming together for one final adventure because of the way how things set up. You'll understand why it's called The Last Dance. Like once you see it, you'll understand why it's called that. Um, but it's definitely called that because of how the story sets up and what they set this pretty much in motion. Like I want to say in the beginning, like yeah, almost the beginning, not at the beginning, but in almost in the beginning of why this would be like the final entry because of like how this works of what Noel needs. That's why it sets it up in a way where you could tell, okay, I see why they said this is the last dance because of what he needs and the only way then for Eddie and the human race to stop Noel from coming there because it's made pretty obvious that Noel is not only out to be free, but he's out to annihilate everything in the living universe. So he wants so with that being said, um yeah, pretty much got you. That's your story. uh I'm gonna go in and say that the visuals was good. I like the visuals. The story was decent. No, I like No because I like that we finally get to see a cinematic, you know, a cinematic live action No. Even though it was kind of like it was CG, you could tell it was CGI mostly, but they got the best person, Mr. Andy Serkis. I think that or Circus Serkis, basically the guy who played Ulysses Claw and Black Panther. Um, Also, we got the dude who played Baron Mordo and Doctor Strange. He's here in this universe as Rex, I think his name is. Um, yeah, Strickland. And we got some symbiotes. We got the appearance of a couple of symbiotes. I don't have the full list of who was here, but we did get Agony. I think that was Agony. Yeah, we got the Agony symbiote. We do get the what's this Lasher? Yeah, we do get Lasher. Um, we get a couple more too, but I gotta actually go back and look. Um, because I forgot the one that Patrick Toxin. I think that was Toxin that we end up seeing in the movie. But anywho, yeah, the visuals was good. For the most part, the CGI was good. No, I like Noel as the villain because I like when you do a villain like this where his presence is like the threat instead of him being like actually there being actually there and fighting them. His the fact that if he's free, that's the threat. I like how they do it like that. Like, oh, okay, he might not be there fighting physically, but the threat of him actually being free to do that physically is is like a great way to do a villain to be there and not be there at the same time. So I didn't mind it. I didn't mind that. I love that we get more backstory on Venom and why they came to Earth in the first place. So that was good. um, I can't. It's two post credit scenes. Two. So yes. When you go see this movie, yes, you do need to stay for the movie. You need to stay as a mid credit scene and then one post credit scene. So two post credit scenes. Um, the one of them basically sets up the future for Noel, I guess you could say, because they did announce that this was going to be the start of Noel's story. So it does set up the future of Noel and the franchise itself. While another one is I'll leave that one for a surprise, but let's just say it's a way. Like I said earlier, they left themselves a way for if they want to bring back Tom Hardy to be both Eddie Brock and Venom. Um, I guess the only thing I could say that's bad about this movie, because it's nothing I did it's nothing that I found bad about the movie, but one thing I guess you could say it's kind of like the writing of the movie, because if it just felt like this movie could have been better, like it should have been better than Venom Let There Be Carnage, because Venom Let There Be Carnage was, in my opinion, not a great way to live up to the Carnage name, but it wasn't a bad movie itself. But I felt like with this one, Venom The Last Dance, it was everything was good except for the writing. I felt like they didn't put enough effort into making this movie better, but they didn't make it bad. If that's in constellation, it's not a bad movie in my opinion. It was definitely decent. It was just should have been better for the final outing. But who knows? Maybe that's because we might get him back. So that could be why. But um, but yeah, so it's only one negative is just the writing, and not that not saying the writing. When I say the writing is a negative, I mean that as a the writing is a negative because it's not a movie, like I said, that's better than Venom Let There Be Carnage. The writing made the movie good enough, good enough for the score I'm going to give it, but it should have been better than, in my opinion, when I got done seeing the movie, I'm like, this wasn't really better than Venom Let There Be Carnage, but it wasn't a horrible movie either. So with that being said, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. Um, Big ups. Yep. Yeah, because I was going to give it a 6.5, but when I thought about it, I'm like, no, this was a 7. It was better because it was better than a 6. And then I thought about it, was it better than a 6.5 though? Then I'm like, yeah, it was. It was a 7, but it doesn't get past a 8 or a 9 out of 10. But with that, for me, what that means, a 7 out of 10 is a movie that I will buy on DVD and keep it in the collection. Since I got Venom 1 and 2, I will get this movie too, because it's a movie I could continue watching. But here's hoping that Noel and everything gets transported to the MCU, because I would love to see them in the MCU, because of the way of the cinematic universe of Sony's, they don't have like the hero levels to fight Noel. So it's like it would be hard to like try to do movies about him where you don't have enough heroes to fight him. So, because if you know your Noel story, Noel is like a Avengers level threat. But that's all I got. If you enjoy my review of this, you know what to do. You hit this button right here for more of my movie reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much, want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all those great things, because I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I need you guys' help to do so. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere because I got more for you. Peace.